Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Major Nick Manweiler, Public Affairs Officer for U.S. Marine Corps Forces Special Operations Command. Thank you for being here today. In a few moments, Colonel Stephen Grass, Deputy Commander of MARSOC, will give a statement about the loss of 7 of our raiders in this week's KC-130 crash in Mississippi. Then we will take questions. Please understand that our comments will focus on the 6 Marines and Navy corpsmen from our command. Any questions regarding the crash or the investigative efforts are best suited for the command conducting those investigations, Marine Forces Reserve. During the questions, please raise your hand until called upon, then we'll state your name and affiliation before asking your question. This will assist us in being able to provide you with follow-up information as needed. At the conclusion of the question and answer session, Colonel Grass will make a closing statement, concluding today's brief. Press packets will be made available afterwards, and my staff will be on hand to assist you with any further needs should you have them. We ask you to please take a moment to silence your wireless devices and personal cellular phones. Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Commander of MARSOC, Colonel Stephen Grass.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Steve Grass. I'm the Deputy Commander of Marine Special Operations Command. Thanks for taking the time to come out. Marine Special Operations Command and Marine Forces Reserve suffered a tragedy early this week when 7 of our raiders, including 1 Navy corpsman and 9 of their Marines, were killed in an airplane crash in the vicinity of LaFleur, Mississippi. The entire MARSOC community mourns this tragic loss of life, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of these brave men. The MARSOC raiders killed in the crash were Staff Sergeant Robert H. Cox from Ventura, California, Staff Sergeant William J. Kundrot from Frederick, Maryland, Sergeant Chad E. Jensen from Los Angeles, California, Sergeant Talon R. Leach from Callaway, Missouri, Sergeant Joseph J. Murray from Duval, Florida, Sergeant Dietrich A. Schmeeman from Benton, Washington, and Hospital Corpsman Second Class Ryan M. Lawry from Middletown, Indiana. The incident occurred Monday afternoon at approximately 4 p.m. Central Time when a KC-130 belonging to Marine Aerial Refueler Transport Squadron 452 crashed in Mississippi, killing all 16 service members on board. The aircraft was carrying our 7 raiders who came out of 2nd Raider Battalion. They were traveling to Naval Air Facility El Centro, California, and they intended to move on to Marine Air Corps Air Station, Yuma, Arizona, to conduct team-level training involving small unit tactics and core mission skills. We are grateful for the support and the effort at the crash site, and we are working closely with officials from Marine Forces Reserve and other agencies involved as they continue to work through this mishap. We're also grateful for the outpouring of support from our local communities and from throughout the Marine Corps and the Special Operations Command and from across the country. The cornerstone of the Marine Corps and Special Operations community is our people. The command's top priority right now is caring for the families of our fallen. We ask for continued prayers and support during this difficult time. And as the families begin the long process of grief and recovery, please respect their privacy and their need to focus on these difficult first steps. Our hearts are with them, and I assure you we are focusing all the resources available from both the Marine Corps and Special Operations Command to help them through this tragedy. At this time, I'll take your questions. Sir.
The incident that occurred Monday, were the members of that team same elements from the team that had experienced 7 losses back in 2015 off of England, Florida?
Okay, Mike, that's a good question. Yes, that is true, that this unit was from the same company and the same battalion, 2nd Raider Battalion, has experienced a loss of 7 Raiders in March of 2015. And that is a tragic coincidence. However, it does not affect how we move out to care for our fallen, to take care of their families, and move on as an organization. Yes, ma'am.
CB Cotton with WITN News.
Could you say that again, please?
CB Cotton with WITN
CB,
News.
okay, thank you. Yeah.
The tragedy in March of 2015, there were 7 Raiders in that incident, 7 Raiders now. When these groups go out to deployment, is it always in a number of 7? Can you answer that?
The team size is 14 normally, and I'll stop there.
Colonel Alan Blinder from the New York Times. Given what happened in March 2015 and what happened this week, can you talk a little bit about morale inside the Raider Battalion, inside Markham at this point? Just after 2 incidents like this in 2.5 years, what's the mindset inside the unit at this point?
Okay, could you say your name again, please?
Alan Blinder from the New York Times.
Okay, Alan, thank you. Well, we are a professional military organization, first of all, Alan. So, and we're an all-volunteer force, and especially the volunteers that come to this unit. And the families generally understand the environment that the Marines and the sailors get into when they take on this responsibility. And they don't go in with ignorance. Having said that, we do a great deal of preparation to prepare our families and our Marines to be resilient. And while you can't downplay the tragedy of the loss, we intend to honor our fallen, we intend to take care of the families, and we intend to move on.
Chelsea Donovan, WECT News. Can you tell me who was piloting the plane and their experience of that?
Chelsea, that's a great question, but it would be inappropriate for me to comment on elements that are being investigated by Marine Forces Reserve at this time. Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
talk about the altitude that the plane was flying before it went down?
No, ma'am. And I think Nick mentioned this at the beginning of the press conference, that we're not going to comment on details relevant to the ongoing investigation, but thank you. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Elizabeth Chu, WNCT News. Just wondering, do you guys have any plans right now for a memorial here to honor those that we've lost? Are we planning to put their names anywhere?
Ma'am, the question of a memorial is we will always have some kind of ceremony eventually that recognizes the fallen. I would tell you that it's the command has done these things in the past, whether it's a celebration of life or a memorial service. Ultimately, whatever we do is tailored to what the families want. They're the most important dynamic and are the most important people in this conversation. If those ceremonies occur, those schedules and events will be forthcoming. Yes, ma'am.
Marilee Moore, News Channel 12. Can you talk about the importance of MARSOC Marines and also Navy Corpsmen and how they contribute overall to the military and their goals?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'll give you a simple answer because of the environment. Okay. You know, MARSOC is the enduring contribution from the Marine Corps to Special Operations Command, and we fulfill the needs that Special Operations Commands provides to the geographic combatant commanders and the interest of national security. And so it's an important effort, as you know, and we are part of a very talented team, an important team in accomplishing that mission. Thank you. Yes, sir. Go back to you.
You mentioned earlier that 14 members make up the team for the exercise that was taking place in Arizona. 7 that perished were heading out there. Were the other elements already out there in place, or were they coming at a later time?
Sure, I'll just tell you that 14 is the generic number for our team organization. I don't have the information at this time about where the other elements were.
Colonel, did you know any of these men personally? And if so, can you talk a little bit about them and their personalities beyond the official bios that you've received this morning?
The short answer is no, I don't know any of them personally. So I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
And you can tell me if this is part of the investigation or not, but had this plane ever been involved in any sort of mishap before?
I don't have that information. Sir.
Sir, when troops transit from Cherry Point to points west, such as this group is doing out to California and then Arizona, during that flight, are there training exercises on? What do the troops do for the time period that they're in flight?
Well, I suppose we could be doing training en route occasionally, but I have no information as to we were doing anything other than being on the plane to get out there. But again, the ongoing investigation should disclose that.
Figure for readers that haven't been in the military but going home commercially, can you describe the inside of the KC-130T?
It's been a while since I've been in a KC-130T. I'd rather defer that question to the professionals that ride them all the time. Thank you. Okay, it seems like we're wrapping up here. I'd like to just make a quick closing statement. And maybe this goes to a little bit of what I know about these Marines. And that is that the Marines and sailors of MARSOC have been similarly tested before. And having been around this organization since its creation, I'm impressed with the absolute strength and resilience that have become hallmarks of MARSOC. Our motto is Spiritus Invictus, or unconquerable spirit. And our command is a tight-knit community made up of some of the most highly trained and dedicated Marines that I've ever known. And as a team, as a family, we're going to pull together. We'll see this through. And again, I thank you for your support. Semper Fidelis and Spiritus Invictus. That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. This concludes our press conference.